What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another highly combustible reaction. We're jumping into something. Hey, we're constantly looking at other countries. We don't really look at too many American things or share too many American things. But I got into it. I got to a point where I was like, okay, it might be interesting. Let's check it out. How big is the USA actually? Because I hear a lot of people that live over in Europe and live in these smaller kind of countries where they say, oh, so-and-so is X amount of hours away, 2-3 hours away. That's really far. But for us, 3 hours is absolutely nothing. Like, took me 5.5 days to drive across the United States. Like, that's a long ways. Everything that we go to is far away. Like everything. It's just the way of the world. Let's jump into it. Let's check it out together. Let's see how many people out there didn't realize just how big it was. It's coming at us from the Infographic Show channel. Definitely get over, show them all the love in the world. We're already subbed up now. We've smashed the like button. Go show them all the love for digging up all of the research. Let's jump in. You wanted them here with it. Let's roll.
This video was made possible by Wix. If you're ready to create a website, head over to wix.com/go/infographics to try out one of their premium plans right now. The United States is currently the world's sole superpower with military installations around the world.
Now keep in mind, I know that this video was 4 years ago, so some of this, if there's statistics, some of the statistics may have changed, but generalization is what we're looking at.
Country, its geography spans from subtropical forests to rolling plains, scorching deserts, and Arctic wastes. But just how big is the US really in comparison to the rest of the world?
Big.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Infographic Show. Today we're taking a look at how big the US really is. The US is approximately 5,680,000 square miles, with terrain that varies
9,150,000 square kilometers. I think the only people that are bigger than us is probably Russia, landmass wise, probably Russia. And maybe Canada, maybe?
Varies dramatically. Only Russia at 10.6 million square miles and Canada at 6,205,000 square miles are larger than the US. Its three biggest states, Alaska at 663,000 square miles, Texas at 270,000 square miles, and California at 160,000 square miles, combined would be the 17th largest nation in the world, immediately after Sudan at 1.15 million square miles, and right before Libya at 1 million square miles. In total, the US is larger than the 107 smallest countries in the world combined. With about—
Did you hear it? Larger than 107 of the world's smallest countries combined.
It's larger than the 107 smallest countries in the world combined. With about 327 million people, the United States is also the third most populated nation on Earth, having a total of 4.28% of the total world population. With a net yearly migration rate of approximately 900,000 people, the US is by far the one place the rest of the world wants to live. With
I don't know if I would say that all the rest of the world wants to live here anymore. We probably still just get the most people coming here because it is big and there is space, there's room for people to come here. But are people just jumping at the chance to flee to America like they used to be? Probably not. Like, that's just where my mind is at. I will have to look at the actual statistics, but I would say out of all the people that are in our community here, I don't think any of them are chomping at the bit to hurry up and get to America to live out the rest of their lives happily and peaceful and prosperous. But that's why I won't ever say that I hate the United States. I can't. There's so much to see. It's impossible to see it all. Like, unless you jump in a car and you go for a drive, and it's going to be a hell of a drive. You can be gone for months to go and check out every single state. I've been in a few. I started in California, went to Alabama, went to Kentucky, went back to California, went to Oregon, went to North Carolina, went back to California. So then I went to Afghanistan, Thailand, back to California again. That's where I'm at now. Yeah, I would say probably not everybody's running here, but I would say it's still a great country, though we do have our problems. Lord knows that. We definitely have some issues that we need to sort out, but that's like everywhere. Everywhere's got their own issues.
With Germany coming in second at 350,000 migrants. and Turkey in third with 325,000 migrants. In the US, 83% of the population lives in cities, with its three most populated cities being New York City with 8.5 million people, Los Angeles with 4 million people, and Chicago with 2.7 million people. All combined, the population of the US's three biggest cities is equal to the population of Chad with 14.5 million people. Just these three cities alone are also more populated than Cuba with 11.5 million people, Belgium with 11.3 million people, and Greece with 11.2 million people. When counting the greater metropolitan area, New York City is the 10th largest city in the world, with a total population of 18.6 million people, just behind Cairo with 18.8 million people, and just ahead of Dhaka with 17.6 million people. This would make the greater New York City area the 63rd largest country in the world, just ahead of Syria with 18 million people. The U.S. is the world's largest economy with a gross domestic product of $20.4 trillion, or 23.3% of the total global economy. China is just behind the U.S. at $14 trillion and 16.1% of the total global economy. When measured by purchasing power parity, or the price of goods and services versus individual incomes, the U.S. comes at number 2 to China, whose GDP PPP is $25.2 trillion. This means that while the Chinese economy is about 30% smaller than the US's, Chinese individuals have on average 20% greater purchasing power in their own country. The three biggest economies within the US.
The problem here in America is that there's several economies within one place. Like, it depends on where you go. Some places have different tax things. Some places have different pay scales because the cost of living is lower. Like, once you take it all into account, that would be a massive undertaking to try to do for all of the states. Try to figure out exactly all of the statistics. I would have to go pull them all up. But I know, like California, here, we pay more for everything. We pay more for gasoline even. The national average was like $2.49 and we were paying $3.79 or something. Now I have no idea where it's at. It's at 4 something now. But California pays way more for a lot of things. Greater sales tax, greater everything. Like the rest of the states, they all have their own individual economies by the state because the states have their own laws and they make up their own rules.
U.S. states are California with a GDP of $2.6 trillion, Texas with a GDP of $1.6 trillion, and New York with a GDP of $1.5 trillion. Altogether, these three states would be the world's third largest economy, just ahead of Japan with a GDP of $5 trillion. California's economy alone is as big as the United Kingdom's, Texas's is as big as Canada's, and New York's is as big as South Korea's. The United States also has the best equipped military in the world,
that
though it's only the third largest at 1,282,000 active duty personnel. Ahead of it are India with 1.4 million active duty personnel and China with 2.1 million active duty personnel. The U.S. spends over $610 billion on its military every year, or 3.1% of its total GDP. 35% of the world's total military expenditure, and more than the next 9 nations combined. Just behind it are China with $150 billion in expenditures and Saudi Arabia with $76 billion in expenditures. The United States also has the most military bases in the most foreign countries in the world. With
is that a boast, or is that because we like to get into other people's business?
Approximately 800 military installations in 80 countries, possibly more military bases in more foreign lands than any nation or empire in history. The cost of maintaining these bases alone is about $156 billion, more than China spends on its entire military. On the civilian side, the U.S. has the world's third largest police force, with 913,000 total police officers, placing it just behind India at number 1 with 1.9 million police officers, and China with 1.6 million police officers. In the realm of healthcare, the U.S. is the most expensive
nation on earth for sure when it comes to healthcare. That's one of the places where we are failing our people horribly. I'll go ahead and throw that out there. We get screwed over. Everything here is, God knows how the whole healthcare system is based on money. That's what it's based on. They don't give a damn whether or not they heal you. It's whether or not they can keep bringing you back so that you can keep paying, or put you on some pharmacy so that you can keep paying, or It's crazy, crazy, crazy. If you don't know about it, dive into it for sure. It's just next level nuts.
Expensive nation on Earth, with a health expenditure per capita of $10,350, placing it ahead of Switzerland at $7,900 and Germany at $5,550. While on average the rest of the world spends about 10.3% of its GDP on healthcare, the US spends 18% of its GDP on healthcare.
That's because it's gonna get it back with interest from the people.
The United States is a large, complex nation, big enough to host several different distinct accents within its own borders. Its people are hardworking and industrious, leading the world's economy. But despite what recent political events might indicate, they're also the most welcoming nation in the world, with 3 times the
That statistic might be a little bit wrong now.
number of immigrants than nations in either the number 2 or number 3 spot in a global comparison. The US isn't the only welcoming place in the world. We've never felt more welcomed than when we signed up with Wix to build a website. Regardless of what exactly your business or hobby is, one thing's for sure, Wix has a
That was a solid ad rollover though.
professional solution for it. And if you're looking for more than just a website, maybe email marketing, a mailbox, or a custom domain, Wix can help you with that as well. Don't worry too much about the things you don't have control over. Worry about what you can do to improve your life. Go to wix.com/go/infographics or click the link in the description and build the website you want and need today. Hopefully today's episode has put the size of the US into perspective for you. What other country would you like to see us do next? How big is your country by comparison to the US? Let us know in the
How big?
comments. Also, be sure to watch our other video called What If the World Was One Country? Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. How big is the USA actually? Who learned something? Let me know down below what you learned from the video. Let me know if it put a different perspective, a different spin on exactly how big things are here. That being said, yeah, we do have our issues, but I would never ever say that I hate America. If I did, I would have never gave so much of my life in service to it. I love this country. I just think that there are some things which is okay to have constructive criticism about your country. If you don't, it'll never get better. So we're here hoping for a better tomorrow. I definitely hope everybody learns something. Smash the like button if you liked it, the dislike button, but I won't believe you. Get over, show the infographics, show all the love in the world. Absolutely amazing content. Absolutely good knowledge for the rest of the world. Till the next one, I'm highly combustible. You guys be happy, healthy, safe. I love you to the moon and back. Peace.